Carson's Corner is a black LGBTQ-owned small business. They sell merchandise and apparel on pop culture franchises such as Dragon Ball, King of the Hill, Sailor Moon, and of course and most importantly, Power Rangers. If you're interested in getting their amazing merch, be sure to check them out at carsoncorner.com. Link will be down below.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Rider Time podcast and not the Rider Time podcast. This is a different podcast. Same shade of blue, different franchise. This is the UltraQuest podcast here on the Morphin Network. Let's get that logo right over there. And yes, it is Morphin time all the time, whether you're using your Rider belt, your Ranger communicator, or your Ultra Brace, or whatever other device you're using to transform. And the calendar month transformed from September to October. So are you awake yet?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Yeah. And of course, I'm Mike, Time Rider Zero, your host. And with me is a very special guest, Miguel Gama. Some of you might remember him from the Buttery Show for 2 months of movie reviews that we did. Miguel, how you doing?
I've been quite well.
Glad to hear. For those of you who are not as familiar, Miguel was a guest panelist in Video Game Movie Month and Anime Hollywood Month. So we did movies like Detective Pikachu, Sonic 2. We also did Speed Racer. Yeah, so those were pretty fun. You're there for Speed Racer. Yeah, that was really fun. Yeah. So now you're here to help us with Ultraman. So we went from being the so on Monday we had not Monday. 2 weeks ago we had the what's called the iShine duo. Now we have the Jonathan Joestar duo.
Pretty much.
Yep. Because Johnny Young Bosch is the lead voice actor in this season because we're simul-dubbing now.
That we are.
Yeah. So Miguel, since this is your first time on the UltraQuest podcast, what are your experiences with Ultraman so far? Like, how were you introduced to the series, and how much experience do you have with it as a whole?
Ultraman. Yeah. I remember they did like a dub of it way back in the early '90s on like Fox Kids for like the original series.
Oh, I didn't know Fox Kids did do like the original Ultraman.
Yeah, like back in like early '90s, they did that for a while. We even had a game on the Super Nintendo like back in its first year of launch, but never played it. And then I actually did watch the 4Kids dub of Tiga.
Yeah, that one I definitely remember because Fox Kids was replaced with Foxbox. And I was thinking, who is this giant dude that kind of looks like Jindrax from Wild Force?
Yep.
Because Loki.
And I've seen like a few episodes of Orb as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I know some of our friends did some Orb cosplays. This is like the first season I'm watching in its entirety because like I do have the original Ultraman on DVD, but never finished watching it. I saw several episodes of Tiga on Foxbox, and I saw the first 3 episodes of Ginga, but that's pretty much it. But here we are watching Ultraman straight, from episode 1 all the way to presumably episode 25, because a lot of them are half-year franchises. And today we're doing, for our inaugural season, we are doing Ultraman Blazar, and because that is the current season, and we're doing episode 3. His name is Earth Garon. And I was thinking like it's supposed to be Earth Garon, but the English stuff they pronounce it Garon, so that's what I'm gonna go with. What are your brief thoughts on this episode?
Overall, it was pretty cool. I mean, the whole team trying to basically prove the worth of their Wish.com Mecha Godzilla in trying to take down this kaiju. Mm-hmm. And then again, hey, Gento still has to pull out Ultraman and basically show them how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that Earth Garon was going to be there because of the theme song, but I do have to ask a lot of questions about just like the overall mechanics of Ultraman because again, like this is mostly new territory for me as far as as doing entire franchise goes
Hmm.
because with Kamen Rider, you pretty much got the beat on that. You got like civilian level fights, and it's very story focused. A Super Sentai, you got a little bit of a story, you got a little bit of civilian level fighting, and then you have a kaiju battle at the end. But Ultraman, it's almost entirely kaiju fighting.
Yeah.
So sometimes I wonder, like, how far in terms of character development do we get in the story? Do we have a main villain? Does the organization that always supports the Ultraman throughout the season do anything to certain capacities? Because yeah, it's like because like for example, Tiga had guts, and guts do not really do much half the time. They're just
Hmm.
there, and Daigo just happens to be a member of Guts. While in Ultraman Ginga, the main character is just solo. It's basically it's basically like watching Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad if the female lead was Rei instead of Ami from Sailor Moon.
Yeah. Although Gridman and Ultraman were both made by Tsuburaya, so
Yeah.
yeah, it does make sense that there's some parallels.
Yeah, and of course, yeah, like I've watched both Gridman and Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad because come on, you gotta have your Deke childhood with Tim Curry as the main villain and the main
Yeah.
character Sam Collins, played by the Robin Williams son from Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah, I still can't get over. You got Matilda and Servo in the same household with Genie slash Theodore Roosevelt.
Hmm.
Theodore Roosevelt in a dress. That's an interesting concept, although that actually does exist
Yes.
when he was a child, but not as an adult though. But yeah, so yeah, this is episode 3, and we are introduced to and here's the thing, I've noticed that like from the toy marketing from courtesy of Toku Collectibles, I do know that there's like support vehicles and there's a giant robot every now and then to support Ultraman. But I wonder like what is the dynamic between those? Because what I really liked about Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad is like, yeah, you had these supplementary vehicles, but at least they combine with the main body of like the Ultra, or in this case, the Gridman, in order to become an even bigger Gridman.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, did that ever, to your knowledge, did that ever happen on Ultraman before? Where like, oh, like this attack vehicle from Guts or what other organization they have in insert season here, like would it combine with Ultraman at any point? Because like that would be an interesting thing.
No, I don't recall ever seeing that happen on any of the Ultraman series I've watched.
Yeah, so I guess we could say that Gridman is probably the go when it comes to having a Megazord. But yeah, like this season we do have a support vehicle in the form of what looks like another Mechagodzilla archetype, and there's like so many of them at this point. We got Dragon Caesar from Jew Ranger. We got Riseros from Genseiken Justerizer, and I'm pretty sure there were more out there. None were in Kamen Rider though, but I know more probably existed. But let me ask you this: what was your favorite archetype of Mechagodzilla? Like, even if it's like not Mechagodzilla itself.
Like your Mechagodzilla inspirations? I mean,
Yeah.
kind of what the OG that I remember, Dragon Caesar. I mean,
Yeah.
with that drill tail and the missile fingers, I mean, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that there's like an Evangelion one where it's not. I don't think it ever was in Evangelion Neon Genesis. But I remember seeing a Mechagodzilla archetype as like that has like EVA Unit 1 colors where it's like all purple with green decals. And I'm like, when was that a thing? Like, is that a crossover or something? But I do know that both Godzilla and Evangelion and Ultraman all had a Shin series, and yes, so did Kamen Rider. So, and they do combine unofficially.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Here's our. Let's go into the plot. So turns out one of the 5 members of the squad did not really appear much in previous episodes. Because he's sort of like the Billy Cranston of the squad, and he was away building Earth Garon. So, yeah, like we set up a schedule for training montage. And, yeah, what was your thoughts on the training montage?
I thought it was pretty cool. I mean, to see... I mean, you're going to get those to kind of see the team come together. So,
yeah.
We're only in the 3rd episode, so we're still kind of establishing things.
Yeah, because we know that we have Gento, and we've seen Ari and Henri in the previous episode, and their last member. Hold on, what was? Hold on, give me a second. Yasunobu. Yasunobu's their 5th member who invented Garon. We're gonna keep that tab right there. So there's that, and one of my I love how like they have this giant manual that they had to memorize. Like, this was probably my favorite montage sequence. What was your favorite sequence in the montage?
It probably would have been the whole. Yeah, them having to memorize all the stuff in that manual. Yeah, just to pilot the robot.
Yeah, I love how I love how what's it called? How they like quizzed each other on like this very specific thing. Like, oh, it's like what if this unit heats up? Then you have to do this. Unless this happens, in which case you have to do that. Then you have to shut it off and then shut it back on again. I'm like, this makes me want to rewatch the IT Crowd because like there's like because the running gag is like, hello IT department, have you tried turning it on and off again? Okay, have a good day. And it got to the point where not Moss, the other male lead, I keep forgetting his name. Like, he basically made a pre-recording where it's like hello IT Crowd, have you tried turning it on and off again? Thank you. Have a good day.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. So, yeah, and of course we do get this other adorable scene in the montage where it looks like they're strategizing for future tactics, but their dialogue comes off a little bit sillier than what it usually is.
It does.
Yeah, so it's like at that point they're not actually strategizing; they're just role playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of both, maybe.
Yeah, but we do get more revelations about Gento, because in the previous episodes, we did ask the question of why does Gento have the Blazar brace to begin with? Because in previous seasons, usually the main character gets chosen by an Ultra to be in their body, or an Ultra accidentally kills them, and they're like, I'll extend your lifespan by going inside of you, kind of like Ankh from Kamen Rider O's. But here it's like, I didn't see that. He just seemingly randomly gets it. But then we do get some new information. First, we do get a flashback of the evacuation from several years ago that was mentioned in the first episode.
Yes.
And he does see a beam of light and ends up inside of it. So, aside from the obligatory flock of seagulls reference, what do you think went on with that?
The whole beam of light.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard. I mean, don't know what to make of it. I mean, still kind of ambiguous as to what it all means. And they haven't really had any concrete answers as to what the meaning could be.
Yeah, because like I think we could surmise that is probably how he got the Blazar brace in the first place, but we still don't completely understand why. Like, what is the motivation? Don't get me wrong, Gento's a good guy. He is a good guy. I'm not questioning his character. I'm just simply asking, what was the process that led to this? You know, like we see the wormhole, that beam of light just appear out of nowhere right in front of him. Heck, like it wasn't even like a dire moment during the rescue sequence. He just like escorts people into a staircase, and then before he enters the staircase, he sees the beam of light, and like that's all we see of it. So that raises some questions. Like we understand how, but why? Yeah. Like it was the opposite. It felt a little bit of the opposite earlier in the earlier scene in episode 1, where it's like, okay, a building's about to collapse on him. Okay, this makes a good moment in time to have that fight or flight response. Because you could justify, hey, maybe the adrenal gland triggers the Blazar brace because it's a survival thing. I mean, that's what happens with the Hulk. It kind of makes sense. But why now and not earlier? Or in the case of the flashback, later? It's like, it seems like a not so dire moment for that beam of light to show up. That's just like my question.
That's what I want to know too.
Yeah, but the other thing we find out in that scene is he's holding a ring in his hand. So, possible fiance he lost, perhaps?
That is a possibility.
Let me know in the comments if you guys have any ideas. And just remember, if you're commenting to us live while we're live, we will display your comments down here at the bottom of the screen. So let us know your thoughts. Meanwhile, Emmy does some research at a nuclear facility because we do find out that the kaiju of the day, and yes, it's pretty much kaiju of the day at this point, keeps burrowing underground, and we also find out that a lot of nuclear facilities are losing their energy sources. They're completely depleted all in one night, and they suspect that this one facility might be next. So Emmy, being the intelligence expert, goes under disguise and tries to investigate. And so when the kaiju does appear, we are left with this interesting thing. First of all, the question of when or not to use Earth Garon, because their commander did tell them, for your first mission, we want the Earth Garon to take out a kaiju before Ultraman does. So, what are your thoughts on that from the previous episode?
It's basically just the commander wants to show that they can handle these kaiju without any interference from Ultraman, because they still don't know that that's our captain right there, who's Ultraman.
Yeah, no, I actually like how they played around with that a little bit in Kamen Rider Agito, where it's like, yeah, we know that Shuichi is Kamen Rider Agito, but how do we know he's our ally and not our enemy? Like, what if the Lords were the good guys? I'm like, really? Like, you guys saw one of them stuff a person inside a tree with the arm sticking out. Like, how could you not tell that the Lords are the bad guys? But I don't know. Something weird about the way that the commander told them to, defeat a kaiju before Ultraman does. I don't know. Doesn't feel like it's just healthy competition. I think there might be something bigger going on. But yeah. So there's that. I'm gonna let him finish doing whatever it is he needs to get done. But we do find something a little bit interesting with the dialogue. So with the monster with the monster now appearing where it needs to be, and it kind of resembles a rhinoceros beetle, which is kind of funny considering I am a Heracross fan. I love the running gag of Heracross constantly harassing Bulbasaur for his sap, and this is a giant rhinoceros beetle looking kaiju that's trying to suck up all that nuclear energy. So we need to come up with a plan on how to defeat the monster. And so Henri comes up with a plan, and her plan is hold on, give me a second. Okay. Okay, so Henri's plan is to get within 100 meters of the giant rhinoceros beetle kaiju, get its attention away, move it away from mainland, and then destroy it because it has absorbed so much nuclear energy that if we were to destroy it, the whole place is gonna for it with a radius of 30 kilometers. And then Gento says, "That's a great plan. You are coming with me. We're gonna pilot the Earth Garon together." And then she says something very interesting, in my opinion. So she says, "Finally, I get to be in a tactical unit." And he says, huh, "What? Oh, nothing." And I'm like, yeah, that seems very suspicious. Like, why did she say like that?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it's like I did not catch it the first time I saw the episode, but then when I rewatched it, I noticed she said, like, the fact that she said it that way. Wasn't she? I was thinking, wasn't she already in some kind of tactical unit? At first, you would brush it off. It's like she's just excited that she gets to work with Gento because in the second episode she was fangirling over him when he invited her to the team.
Oh, I remember that one.
But now I'm thinking, I feel like her credentials are not 100%.
Like she might have like lied on the application and still got the job.
Yeah, or maybe she's like, she's like not not completely accurate with like how much experience she has. So like for example, like I was in the ROTC in high school, but the thing is, like, I wouldn't say, "Oh, I've had military service. I've had training when I was in high school." But when I say, "Oh, in high school I had the rank of sergeant," I wouldn't say that, "Oh, I'm an actual Army sergeant." Because, it's not the same. It's like the academic knowledge might be sufficient, but not the actual field experience.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like, and to everyone out here, including my co-host right here, like for those of you who had real military experience, more power to you. You guys are awesome. You guys are the real heroes. But yeah, no, it's like, but like falsifying stuff is kind of messed up, because like this could hurt people. Like, even if you just say, "Oh yeah, I'm totally a black belt in such and such fighting style," when you completely lied about it, or saying, or like just buying a Ryu cosplay like from Street Fighters and like showing it off as, "Oh, see, I have an actual black belt." It's like, you have a physical black belt, but you're not actually a black belt. Yeah, like because the certification's not in the belt; it's in a document you receive with your ranking, and that's kind of important because, like, let's say, for example, like, let's say if it is a military thing, like if you don't have the military experience to pull off some kind of mission, you are going to you might cause your comrades to die if you make a very naive or ill-judged decision. And the thing is, it would be you to blame because you were the one who like made the bad decisions, and everyone trusted you under false pretenses.
Pretty much.
Yeah, or another example with like medical procedures, it's like you can't have like a back alley doctor who has no experience, no medical credentials perform a procedure on you, because if they mess up, a person will die.
That's true.
Yeah, so I'm very suspicious about Omri's credentials as a member of SCARD, because just the way she got excited in that one scene, like I'm like gonna like keep an eye on her with a microscope because of that. I don't know. Do you think I'm reading too much into this, or?
No, I mean, hey, we all have our little theories and just to what's going on behind the scenes, but could be right, could be wrong. Who's to know? Who's to say?
Yeah, but yeah, like I can't wait to find out the actual truth. But I'm still very suspicious. But she did make a good plan. There's nothing wrong with the plan. I like that plan. So they do send out Earth Garon. They go right in, and unfortunately, there is a discharge of nuclear energy from that rhinoceros beetle kaiju, and it causes the Earth Garon to shut down. And wouldn't you know it, out of all the ways to solve the issue with Earth Garon, it's the specific one from the montage.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
What are the chances that of all the things, out of all the possibilities in that massive book, it's the one paragraph we happen to see?
Yeah.
But no, for real though, like I'm not gonna lie though, going back to that whole manual thing, I can't help but think about how that scene from the Boondocks when they had the fried chicken flu.
Yes.
By the way, that thing predicted 2019 and 2020 like in one go, because it predicted the Popeyes chicken sandwich thing, and it predicted, well, I'm not going to say what exactly it predicted, but we all know the year 2020 as being infamous for something very specific. So
yeah, something we don't want to get demonetized for.
Yeah. But still, it's like, but going into that Boondocks episode, like it's like, so everyone's barricaded inside the house. It's like, okay, everyone read the manual. This will help us survive through this ordeal. It's like, but this thing's like 80 pages long. Well, like what parts are the most important? It's all important. Well, give us the gist. What? Well, I guess the most important thing is to ration our resources. We can't let other people know that we have our supplies. And then everyone knows that they have the supplies. But yeah, so if there's anything to learn from the Boondocks and from Ultraman, it's read the entire manual.
Yep.
Yeah. And trust me, I used to be a civil engineer. I know exactly how important that is. And if there's any lawyers out there watching the show, you guys also know how important it is to read all the law books.
That is true.
Yeah. It's crazy how many law books are out there, man. It's like you got state law books, you got district law books, you got federal law books, you got law books for different types of law. So it's like
to go through all of that.
And there's nothing comprehensive. I mean, none of the books are comprehensive. You have to actually get all of those law books. I am so glad that I did not listen to my parents and opted to not go into law.
True.
Medical books, much easier to comprehend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a mutual friend of ours would hopefully agree.
I think so.
Hopefully. I don't know. I hope you won't be the grass is greener type of person say, yeah, maybe I would consider reading a law book. No, read a law book, but don't go into law.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so while Omri is trying to fix the Earth Garon, Gento gets the Ultra Brace and turns into Ultraman, and it's kind of funny. Like it's just like sucking up that reactor, like it's Heracross and Bulbasaur.
Pretty much.
Just completely ignore him. It's kind of cute. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But once he finally does give it enough attention, fighting does ensue, and we get something really cool though. Like it's about to discharge again, like giving off like all its nuclear energy, and then just like my favorite scene from the movie Speed, where like he's just like holding Howard Payne's head up before he gets beheaded. Like he just like forces it up so that when it shoots out its nuclear energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I swear this is like watching Avatar all over again.
True.
Yeah, and we get the basic finale. He creates a plasma spear, stabs right through it. It explodes safely this time, and and then everyone's like, well, like, but we failed the mission. Actually, no, the mission was successful. We just needed to show that the Earth Garon was functioning, and it is functioning, and we got the freedom to act on our own discretion. So the Air Force won't be giving us any more problems. By the way, why is the military giving them problems? Like, doesn't the military already know that SCARD exists? I mean, like isn't that part of their name?
Yeah.
Like, isn't the whole point of SCARD is Special Kaiju Reaction Detachment? Yeah, it's detachment, but it's still part of the military, isn't it?
It is. So I don't know why they're getting so much grief.
It's like, oh, a kaiju's there. Well, now it's our jurisdiction. You guys can still help out if you want, but we get to decide how we act. Like, yeah, more backbone over there, and then they go for a jog. All's well that ends, I suppose.
That's true.
And that's the end of the episode. So, what are your thoughts about the episode overall?
Overall, I think it's doing a good job in showing Gento like build up a trust with his team, showing them working out together in that montage and things like that, and learning how to pilot Earth Garon and showing them all becoming friends essentially. Well, it's a good way to kind of build that chemistry for future episodes when we might see other characters kind of get a little bit of time in the limelight.
Yeah, no, I agree because like one of the issues I had, like I was worried about with the Ultraman series, and again, I'm speaking as someone who has very little experience with Ultraman as a whole. I'm always concerned. It's like what do we do with an ensemble? Because if the main thing is just like if like 85% of the episode is having a kaiju fight or preparing for a kaiju fight, how do we fit in character development in the remaining 50% of every episode? And the thing is like when you have a season like Ginga where like, oh, you only have 3 characters, or it's like, oh, they're just teenagers and a vinyl toy of Ultraman Taro. Like it's easy to just simply like develop a short cast, but when you have a whole team, you have to give the entire team personality. I'm honestly props to Clone Wars because you got a million clones and you made us care about them.
Yep.
Yeah, so like props to them. But yeah, it's like that is a concern I have because it's like kaiju fights are okay, but they become repetitive over time. I mean, I'll say this: they do get better as far as these 3 episodes go. They did get better over time. Although I have to say, my most favorite kaiju fight this season so far was the second one because he went, he made a fishing line and like turned that kaiju into a skewer.
Yeah, the Gatos fight. Yeah,
it was kind of like it highly reminded me of Urataros from Deno.
Yep.
Oku ni tsurarete miru. But yeah, it's but no, that's good. Like I actually like the spectacle of having that whole like Avatar light show thing. When Aang like causes Ozai to like lose his powers, and they have that light show. I like that. But no, the finisher was pretty standard. Oh, plasma spear, stabby, stabby. But yeah, no, I'm glad we got more character focus, and I hope we get more character focus in future episodes because now we have reason to suspect Omri. We have reasons to question Gento. Like, I want to know more about this thing that happened years ago and how you got your brace. And we still don't know, like, what do the Blazar stones do exactly? Because yeah, he has the one to transform, but I know there's others out there. But like, does he use those in later episodes? Because
yeah, I wonder.
yeah, like I mean, hopefully by around episode 7, he uses a new Blazar stone to like to do something different. I don't know. I mean, like Kamen Rider Kuga, he only needed 4 episodes for his first transformation. Deno, 6 episodes, technically speaking. Kiva, 4 episodes. Power Rangers / Super Sentai, you don't really need to have form changes because, you know.
You get power-up forms in, like, midway through the season anyways.
You get power-up forms, but the thing is, it's like, you have multiple characters to focus on. So even if you look at it like one focal character, at least it changes between 3 or 5 focal characters. So it's like Red Ranger's the main character in this episode, and then the Blue Ranger's the main character in the next episode. Like it's like at least from having a one hero per episode perspective, at least you're saying, oh, we changed from having the Red Ranger to having the Blue Ranger, even though it's a different Ranger, different person altogether. But you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Tiga started the trend of having multiple forms for an Ultraman because like he's the first Heisei Ultraman.
Yeah.
But again, and I know, like, you know, with Orb, he has those cards. Guy has those Energems. They look like what's it called? Those beast batteries from Kyoruger. Again, yeah, and I think we've had
a memorial edition of the Gobble Revolver. So there we go.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, next week we're getting a reprisal from the Kyorugers.
For King Ogre, oh yeah, that's going to be exciting.
Oh man, yeah, I can't wait for that. And yeah, so like for me, it's like Omri and Gento. I need to learn more about these, but we still don't really know much about Emmy and the other guy, Teruraki. Like I feel like Teruraki is just like out in the back burner. Like, yeah, he's the number 2 guy, but what does he do exactly? Like, member of the team, like, because at least Emmy has her disguises and she had the bazooka in the first episode. Henri is the fighter and is effectively the comic relief character. Yasunobu at least is the technical expert, so he's the Billy Cranston of the squad. So what does Teruraki do exactly on this team? Yeah, it's kind of like One Piece. You gotta have the captain, the first mate, the navigator, the the brigadier, the chef, the doctor, the archaeologist, which turns out to be an important role in One Piece because you need poneglyphs to find the One Piece. Shipwright and a musician. You definitely have to have a musician.
That's true.
Yeah. So you know, like I hope Teruraki does stuff. He gets more focus in future episodes, so we have a better understanding of his role. So as far as I'm concerned, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. I love the more character drive, but there's still like more character left to explore. How about you? What's your score?
I would say it's a solid 9 out of 10. I mean, for still establishing things, it's going quite well. I mean, the montage added a lot of flavor to it, and overall, it was a pretty solid kaiju fight. So, yeah, I mean, a 9 out of 10 sounds like a good score for it.
Yeah. No, I would say like these last 2 episodes were definitely better than the first one because of the more character drive. Because honestly, like when I watch Tokusatsu, like I love the choreography. Like that's what got me into Tokusatsu. But I like the character drive more than the kaiju spectacle aspect. That's honestly why I kind of gravitate towards Kamen Rider more than Ultraman when I had to choose that divergence from Super Sentai because it's like because you got civilian fights on one end, kaiju fights on the other end, and in the middle you got Super Sentai. But no, like in that divergence, there's a reason why I prefer Kamen Rider, and that's because it's like I like learning more about these characters and watching them grow and stuff. So
It is understandable.
yeah, so so these last 2 episodes were definitely an improvement, but I want to see more of that moving forward. All right, so comments. Let us know what you guys thought about the episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What do you think is going to happen next? Now, keep in mind, we haven't seen episode 4 yet, so no spoilers of real things that happen in episodes 4 through 11. So there's that. So, so let us know what you guys thought. Awesome. Another guest panelist, OMG Miguel from the Video Game Month on the Buttery Show. Hey, looks like you have a fan. Nice.
Nice.
I like Dragon Caesar. Nice. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do like Riseros because like it combines with like the other 3 Justerizers to form like a bigger form. Man, I remember having like these bootlegs of Caesar X, like with the blue beetle, the white eagle, and the yellow lion. And like the joints were so loose because they were bootleg.
Oh, yeah.
They were fun though. And also we did have Ramirez from Kyorager playing what technically would be a character name that would not fly in Latin America.
Gordo? Oh, yeah, it means fat, so yeah.
It's like you got an actual plus-size person named Gordo. It's a thing. Like, do not air this in Mexico or El Salvador, Guatemala, Peru, wherever else have you. It's like having a character named Porkins.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, but Ankh was there though. From O's, he was there too.
Oh yeah.
I think it was the blue Caesar, the beetle one. Could be wrong. Okay. Wizo says hello. Oh look, he's got Cuervo. He's got Cuervo.
Nice. Oh yeah, Cuervo from Q Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's like I always had this idea of like in Q Ranger they would have 88 Rangers because that was part of the wars because like you got Rangers from all 88 galaxies, and I always imagine like if Cuervo did not have a heel turn, he would have like his ranger name would be Corvus Midnight Black because like after the first 12 rangers you gotta like add like some kind of modifier to a base color just to like fill in all those 88 slots. And I figured you're from the Corvus system, so like it would make sense. It's like if you were like Midnight Black. It's like because like we already have Black Ranger, so we need like modifiers. And if we have Sky Blue, why not a Midnight Black? Yeah. And I always imagine he would have like feathered talons on his arms and stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame he became the villain. Yeah. Real shame.
It is.
Oh yeah, I just remembered there's gonna be a new Crow movie coming out next year.
Oh. That okay, they're remaking The Crow. Cautious optimism there.
Well, I don't know if they're remaking it, rebooting it, making a sequel out of it, because like across 4 Crow movies, we did have 4 different characters. We got Draven, Corvus, Cuervo, and Corvin.
Yep.
Yeah. But then Stairway to Heaven was definitely a remake because we went back to Eric Draven, played by Mark Dacascos. And that was the Crow I grew up with, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mark Dacascos.
Cool.
I almost met him, if not for John Wick 3.
Yeah.
No.
I remember that Capoeira movie he made in the 90s called Only the Strong.
Oh, I love that movie. Yeah, no, and also he was originally supposed to be the first Red Ranger in Saban's Bioman.
Yep.
Yeah, what else was he in? Oh, yeah, he also played Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat Legacy,
Oh yeah.
along with Kamen Rider veteran Matt Mullins, who played Johnny Cage. So you got two Ventaran Kamen Riders working together in a tournament called Mortal Kombat. And also the original 95 actor for Shang Tsung reprised his role as Shang Tsung. So that was kind of cool too.
Funny, he was in 2 different video games. I mean, he was in that Mortal. I mean, he was also in the '94 Double Dragon movie.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Oh yeah, Mark Dacascos was in that too.
Yeah, he was Jimmy Lee, opposite Scott Wolf's Billy Lee.
Yeah. Oh, this takes me back because also Double Dragons was also a Deke show along with Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and like going back to Mortal Kombat, Robin Shao was not only in Mortal Kombat, but he was also in both Street Fighter and in Dead or Alive. So that's 3 fighting game franchises.
Yep. And then the guy who played Shang Tsung was also Heihachi in the live-action Tekken.
Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine if Robin Shao was in Tekken?
Yeah.
Like you'd be in every video game fighting movie.
Pretty much.
Oh man. Oh god. Yeah. One of these days we've got to review Dead or Alive though, because what's his name? Ninja Black Jiraiya played Hayabusa. Yeah, you know Kosagi. He played Hayabusa in Dead or Alive.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So yeah.
Plus, he was also in Cooking as well.
Yeah. Oh, and and what I love about DOA is you got perfect casting with Jamie Presley as Tina Armstrong and Kevin Nash as Bass Armstrong. Because like those 2 characters were like perfectly cast. Like
They were.
That was like the best part. Like I don't know how I feel about Zach having the green hair from like the first game, but Jamie as Tina and Kevin as Bass, like that was perfect casting right there, and they had fantastic chemistry as well. Okay, Wizo says, new subscriber, can't wait for the next review of Cosmic Fury. Oh, thank you for watching our previous review and thank you for enjoying it. Yeah, it's going to be on Saturday at 3:30 this time because at least one of our veteran founders of this channel are actually going to be coming back to review that episode. So, like stick around for that. Definitely enjoy. And yeah, and I love that you have Cuervo as your avatar right there. Psycho Orange, welcome, Wizo. I love the camaraderie. Like this is really good stuff. Anything to welcome a Philip. Yeah, people love the JDF laugh. But no, yeah, we're all a community, we're all a family. How what's his name, Don Toledo, when he appeared in episode 46 of Kamen Rider Revice. It's like, hey, are you guys ready to have your final battle with a gift? Oh, Dom, what are you doing here? I'm here to help you fight Giff, of course. But you don't have a demon or a vice stamp for that matter. Who needs a vice stamp when you got family? And it's true because it's the power of family that defeated Giff in the first place. But yeah, that's it for the comments, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been the UltraQuest podcast, and if you enjoyed, please comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Ding the bell icon to stay notified for our latest videos. We do Ultraman Blazar on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We do on Wednesdays, we have Kamen Rider God Chart. Tomorrow we're doing episode 5 at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. Thursdays, we do Super Sentai. So we got Osama Sentai King Ocher, episode 31. This Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 Eastern. And this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Pacific, 6:30 Eastern, we are going to do episode 2 of Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. And yeah, we are doing, well, just a reminder, 1 episode a week, because we want to give each episode its due diligence. And if you've seen it all the way, I hope you enjoyed it. I saw it all the way. I'm still going to do it 1 episode a piece. So here we go. And check out our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do movie reviews, video game reviews. We recently did an episode on the new Devil May Cry anime, amongst other things. And of course, our most recent movie review was the live action One Piece on Netflix with our friend Steve Vasquez, the Sin Prince. And you can check out this guy right here in some of our older videos, such as Speed Racer, Sonic 2, Detective Pikachu, Mario 93, Mario 2023, Mario, and of course, yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, Detective Pikachu. Yeah, there it is. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. And if you want to check out our personal content, you could find Miguel on Instagram
At that blue dinosaur guy.
And you could find me on Instagram at Boken_Kawato and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKawato. And with all that said, guys, thank you one more time for watching us. Happy October 3rd. Never forget.
Yep. Yep. Or Mean Girl, depending on
I've made that meme where it's like you got where you got what's it called, Armstrong and Curtis like shaking hands, like that's from like that scene from Predator with Dylan and Dutch, where it's like Full Metal Alchemist fans, Mean Girls fans, October 3rd, never forget. But yeah, so remember, if the limit is infinite, the limit does not exist. And so remember, in those non-existent limits, be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and enjoy the start of a fabulous October. Bye, guys.
Bye.